Folks living in a neighborhood just outside of Wasilla continue to navigate these high floodwaters.
Now, the Mat-Su Borough continues to say this is not a problem site in the city, and they are not helping out any further for now. Georgina Fernandez shows us what people are going through.
For 3 days, this is the reality for 5 homes on Marilyn Circle outside of Wasilla.
It's freezing overnight, and it's thicker today than it was yesterday.
Floodwaters still high, as those who don't even live here step up to help.
Love. These are people that go to church with us and they need help. Even if they didn't go to church, it wouldn't matter. The more we look out for each other, the better off we'll be.
By Friday afternoon, volunteers like Clinton Levis are the only ones pumping. After the Mat-Su Borough stopped pumping early this morning with no plans to continue because floodwaters have dropped.
And for comparison, I'm about 5'8", and when I was here Thursday, that water was about to my thighs. And right now, in this location, that water is probably hitting around my knees.
As cold, dirty floodwater leaves residents frustrated and struggling.
I mean, I know there are floods around, but how many of those actually, like, you're literally trapped in your home. My poor husband has been carrying through the water our 60-pound golden doodles just to go to the bathroom several times a day.
The borough telling us over the phone, though, that pumping isn't working to the degree many people would like.
We just don't have the capacity to put enough pumping capacity out there to make much progress. So, I mean, while it looks good to have a pump going, you know, the actual reduction in the water levels is insignificant.
The borough adding that it hopes that floodwater recedes on its own.
What's the solution here when you say, okay, we're going to stop pumping, let Mother Nature take its course? What's that solution looking like?
Boy, that would be a Mother Nature thing, you know, whether right now the water is coming from a source that is outside of our, you know, really our jurisdiction. You know, it's on private property.
What's your recommendation to folks here who are right now struggling to just get to their home and are concerned? What can they do?
I wish I had an answer for that. I really don't.
No answers for residents trying to find their own solution. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Now, the Mat-Su Borough told us it planned to send someone this afternoon to recheck those flood conditions.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
History made this evening as NASA's Artemis II safely splashed down into the Pacific Ocean near San Diego. Splashdown for the Orion spacecraft came officially at 5:07 p.m. Pacific time. It returned 4 astronauts to Earth after a nearly 10-day period. Only a couple of minutes prior, at about 25,000 feet, Orion's first series of parachutes deployed, followed by a series of others.
Now, it ends this historic Artemis II mission that sent the astronauts in a flyby around the moon. It was the first crewed moon mission since the 1970s. Jeff Allgood will have a more detailed story tonight on the late edition. And what a great part of history many of us got to witness today.
Yeah, one person we know for sure appreciated all this was Jackie. Pretty cool sight to start the weekend.
It sure was, and it's a great way to start the weekend with the crew back on Earth, safe and sound. In fact, they were concerned about some weather that was lurking off the coast of California, but on our satellite and radar, you can see that, and on those pictures, it didn't really prove to be a factor in that recovery of the Artemis II crew capsule. Wow, that is just so neat. But as we push into around the state of Hawaii, they are concerned because, yes, another big round of rain. You can see the plume of moisture connects up to that area of low pressure. Meantime, we have 2 storm fronts impacting the state of Alaska as we head into our Friday night, and more so for the interior. It moved pretty quickly past the Anchorage area, but the interior is going to see not just this storm front, but a second one behind it over the weekend. Look at that sunshine breaking through the overcast conditions around Ketchikan. They're at 48, 50 and sunny in Juneau. And the clouds have moved in around Anchorage at 35 degrees. That's kept things a bit cooler into the afternoon with Fairbanks at 36. So, as I mentioned, a couple of storm fronts to get through as we push through our spring weekend. But I'll have more on that coming up a little bit later in the forecast.
All right, Jackie, thanks so much. Transitioning now, state troopers will face no criminal charges in a New Year's Day shooting in Fairbanks that killed a 24-year-old man. The findings came with the Department of Public Safety releasing body cam video of this incident.
Now, we want to warn you, the footage may be disturbing. Our investigative team's Johnson Kuhn continues our coverage.
That newly released body-worn camera footage was released along with redacted incident records. They detail how troopers were called to a Fairbanks home where they say William Rexford's family members reported a domestic disturbance. We're going to take you through this in the order it's reported. A warning again, some may find the video disturbing and the story deals with mental health crisis. It started with the family asking for help. The first 911 call came from Rexford's brother. He told dispatch his brother was having medical issues and breaking things inside the home. Dispatch asks if there are any weapons in the home, and the caller says no. The records say Rexford had been released earlier that New Year's morning from Fairbanks Memorial Hospital's Behavioral Health Unit, where he'd been admitted since Christmas Day. When troopers arrived, they found Rexford on a couch and tried to convince him to return to the hospital. Then investigators say Rexford suddenly rushed into the kitchen, grabbed large knives, and made stabbing motions at a trooper, forcing him to the ground. The incident report also says the trooper sustained a knife wound to his hand during the struggle. They say from the moment Rexford stood up and ran for the kitchen to when troopers fired was about 8 seconds.
Hey, hey. Whoa. Hey, hey, no. Go around. Whoa, hey. He got the knife stuck in his hand.
The report confirms Rexford's brother Adam was also shot and transferred to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Troopers John Fall and Wyatt Miller will face no criminal charges after Alaska's Office of Special Prosecutions reviewed the case. The Rexford family did not respond to requests for comment. DPS said an administrative review will follow as standard procedure. Family supporters are calling for a rally this Saturday at 2 p.m. in Fairbanks. Details are on our website and app. Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
In a separate case, a Fairbanks man was taken into custody earlier this week after Alaska State Troopers said he threatened the lives of people at a local union home.
Alex Bengal takes us through what we know so far.
On Wednesday, the Alaska State Troopers received reports from his stepmother that 66-year-old Donald McTaggart told her he wanted to storm the building housing Laborers Union Local 942 and hold the facility until all the Democrats were dead. A call from troopers to the Laborers Union confirmed employees had received threatening texts, and McTaggart repeated similar statements to investigators over the phone, according to court documents. Troopers made contact with McTaggart outside of his home at 538 Long Spur Loop. That's when they say McTaggart barricaded himself inside the residence. McTaggart eventually came outside after a team from Northern SWAT breached a window in the house. He was taken into custody and booked into Fairbanks Correctional Center. Law enforcement found 40 guns and a stockpile of ammunition in McTaggart's home. Court documents say they were staged around the door, seemingly in preparation for a shootout. McTaggart has been charged with 2 second-degree counts of terroristic threats. Court view shows he is currently being represented by the Public Defender Office, which did not respond to a request for comment. No one with the Alaska Department of Public Safety was available for comment either. A representative with the Laborers Union says a statement will likely be released on Monday. Alex Bengal, Alaska's news source.
Happening now, donations and dragons in the Diamond Center. It may sound like a sci-fi or medieval movie, but it's actually what describes this year's Construction event.
Thousands of collected cans of food are being turned into pieces of art for a great cause, and that's where our Charlie Fellows previews for us these mythical masterpieces.
Yeah, guys, 9 teams of mostly engineers and architects had stations just like this one set up all around the Diamond Center today. Construction zones, if you will, turning thousands of these cans and boxes of prepackaged food into dragon-themed masterpieces, dragons being the theme of this year's event. Now, this, of course, all for a good cause, these food items going toward keeping the Food Bank of Alaska stocked in the post-holiday lull that they have after these statues are taken down. But make no mistake, in the meantime, these teams are playing to win.
there's some pretty good teams this year. I've seen some of the dragons out there that are not quite done yet. Obviously, we're not quite done yet, so it's up in the air. We'll see what happens. There's lots of awards to win, so come out and vote.
We're here to stay first, so I mean it's real competition. So we're serious about this. We're here to stay. We're here to win.
And we'll have more tonight at 10 on this day of building, as these builders have until midnight tonight to finalize their creations. Charlie Fellows, Alaska's news source.
That looked pretty cool so
Good
far, though.
stuff, Charlie. I can see the structural integrity.
Super
of
fun.
those dragons.
Thank you,
Well
Charlie.
done, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.